Today's High Performance Podcast is brought to you by Josh Phegan Digital. It's where you'll find our revolutionary blueprint course. There's only one place that you can go from zero to hero over a weekend by watching the incredible blueprint. It's everything you'll need to be that $1 million agent. Prospecting, listing, negotiation, and growth. Broken up into short 15-minute pieces, skip to the content you need now or watch from the beginning to end. Only on Josh Phegan Digital. Welcome to High Performance, the podcast featuring Josh Phegan and Alexander Phillips. Alex, one of the things I look at is that, when you go down to the beach, one of the things that the lifesavers have got is like a bit of like conditions of the day. High tide, low tide, what's happening to the water temperature, whether or not there's sharks, and you kind of make a decision, I guess, as a surfer if you go out there. That's about my extent of the knowledge of the beach. But how many agents do you think actually are really clear about the conditions of the day and then adapting their strategy in how they actually help sellers to sell and buyers to buy, given those conditions inside of the marketplace?
Very few. I see it all the time that a lot of agents wouldn't even know, just general economic factors that then relate into the conditions that you're dealing with. Why we've got such high rising living costs, where the stock market's at, what's happening globally, where the US dollar is, and what does that mean for us with trading and all that. So there's a lot of different factors, not just, the mums and dads looking at real estate and the clearance rates and the number of buyers through open homes. That can translate to there's more that you need to look into. So a lot of things that I work on is I ask questions to a lot of like people in different industries on how they're seeing things at the moment. So I speak to Theo Chambers a lot from Shaw Financial, asking him, what are the new inquiries like, what levels they're at. I speak to, like this morning I was walking down New South Head Road and ran into a client of mine, Patrick, who we've just sold his apartment. He's a trader at Morgan Stanley. I said, what's happening with the markets? He goes, just keep ratcheting up. There's no stopping. So like these little questions you can ask and feed off other people do give you a really good indicator of what is actually happening and the ins and outs of where that flow of that day might be.
So here at Todd White, the property values have got like the property clock, and they talk about being at the top of the market, going to a declining market, the bottom of the market, and a rising market. And each of those kind of give you an indication that when you're coming down in that market cycle, vendor prices are usually a bit higher than where buyers are prepared to entertain. When you're getting to that, approaching the bottom of the cycle, it's a lot more private buyer appointments. So it's a lot more getting an offer. It's a lot more work with your vendors to realize markets. In rising markets, all of a sudden you miss a listing and a competitor overlists it by $100,000 and they sell it quite quickly, and you don't realize all of a sudden there's extra buyers at these open for inspections and it's starting to heat a bit more quickly. And then as we get to the top of that market cycle, everything's kind of flying. Very short days on market, a lot less vendor management in terms of pricing and expectations. Buyers are often paying overs. You're getting multiple offer situations. And so what you got to think about is, okay, great, where am I at in terms of those market cycles? Are you seeing that literally that there are now markets within markets? So, for example, baby boomer type properties might sell quite quickly. Some of the investment properties might not as much because of obviously return on capital.
Big time. I think that, that started happening about 10 or 15 years ago. There's so many different micro markets within marketplaces that I think no matter what now, whatever happens, with recessions or up or down, there's always a market that's going to be trading, particularly where we are in Sydney. That's something you need to know as an agent. That comes down to the sort of demographics of people, the lifestyle choices, why they're moving, why they're selling, the age gaps. There's so much of that we look at that. I think we're very lucky now that it's not just older generations that have money to buy real estate. Like we sold a house for just under $8 million to a guy who's 28 years old. This week I just sold a tech business. So we're lucky that we're dealing with, such a lifespan of buyers from sort of 21 up to, 80 or 90 that allows us to have that, different, type of markets that we can deal in.
And what great agents do is they really try to find buyers who are not even buyers, right? So if you've got problems trying to sell a 4-bedroom, go back through 3-bedroom market appraisals who might want it to upgrade. And those people might be in a position, if they like the 4-bedder, then they'll come and sell their 3-bedder. And maybe the 3-bedder is the one that's a bit easier to sell based on price point or level of demand in your marketplace. And so this is about getting smarter about not just the buyers that are coming from the portals and the buyers that are sitting inside of your database, but never forget that those people you did an appraisal on a year, 2 or 3 years ago, they might actually be prepared to do something. They've got some extra equity, they've got some extra cash, and might be the time, but they hadn't thought about doing it. And this is what you've got to start to think about, is how do I find people that are not necessarily in market right now, but actually have capacity to do something because you're creative to say, hey, Alex, come and have a quick look at this. And if Alex likes it, mate, not only is he a buyer, he's been in the market for a very short period of time is now an immediate seller, and you can actually make that happen in a much shorter period of time.